57th Street Beach. Massive crowds prompting a large police response in Hyde Park and the partial shutdown of DuSable Lakeshore Drive. People seen trying to climb over a wall, trying to cross the street as police warned them to get back. Citizen video captured the show of force from a nearby building, showing several police cars lining the lakefront as police tried to reroute traffic with hundreds of people all around. A Chicago police helicopter over the crowd of people and the traffic backup that ensued. So far, police have not said if there have been any injuries, but we saw one officer being escorted by two other officers, loading him into an ambulance. This comes after the University of Chicago Police Department said it got information about a possible teen trend gathering at 57th Street Beach planned for Monday evening. UCPD says additional staff would be on deck. Tonight, police lining 57th Street as the crowd continues to linger in the area.
Update to breaking news on the city's south side. 3 men were shot overnight. Police say they were standing outside near a large gathering on 55th Street. They were taken to a local hospital and are expected to be okay. Chicago police just released these images here of a person that they're looking for. The images are blurry, but police think this is the person who opened fire on those 3 people. The gunfire happened blocks away from a teen takeover last night at 57th Street Beach. Massive crowds prompted a large police response in Hyde Park and the partial shutdown of DuSable Lakeshore Drive. People were seen trying to climb over a wall, trying to cross the street as police warned them to get back.
Sent out a letter to CPS families, basically encouraging parents, guardians to refrain from allowing youth to partake in these so-called teen takeovers. There is supposedly one scheduled to happen today at 5 p.m. in Millennium Park, and those are basically large teen gatherings, which at times have gotten out of hand, especially in recent weeks. Just a few weeks ago, this was the scene outside of NBC Tower. Absolute chaos, with groups of young people becoming violent as police tried to disperse them. So last month, a 15-year-old was wounded during one of those gatherings. And then a few days ago, a teen was charged with shooting a tourist outside of the AMC Theater in Streeterville. That happened back on March 9th. So Alderman Brian Hopkins has been proposing making some changes, particularly with the curfew in place for accompanied minors in the downtown area, but Mayor Brandon Johnson has been reluctant to change that.
It's not like this is happening every night, every weekend. One is too many. Just like one 15-year-old having access to a gun is too many. That's what the collective work of our city has to be a part of, is ensuring that we're creating not just accountability, but opportunities.
Right now, the curfew in the city of Chicago is as follows: 10 p.m. for minors 12 and older, 8:30 p.m. for minors under 12, except on Fridays and Saturdays when the curfew is 9 p.m.
57th Street Beach.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the Ba'aseh apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the elect. Shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect. Okay? And this is nothing more than another, psyops. You know, this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You know, and anybody with 2 eyes that can see, well, you gotta have the eyesight. You know, but even without the truth, you know, you got people of the world that look at this and say, hey, this is bullshit. You know, because This is not only happening in the city of Chicago, but it's happening in every major city. Detroit, DC, New York. I believe it was a few cities in the South. You know, and all this is doing is getting them one step closer to justify, you know, shutdowns or martial law or civil unrest, you know, because they have they it's called problem reaction solution. They create a problem and people react and they already have a solution for it. You know, Esau game is chaos and confusion, you know. And that's one of their slogans. Order ab chaos, order out of chaos. They use the chaos to usher in the new order, you know, which is control chaos, you know. Now this is justifying flock cameras and, you know, severely punishing the parents for their teens. But they have laws on the books that say you can't correct your child. You see how confusion that is? You know, here it is, you trying to discipline your child, but they have a thing called emancipation, you know, or child protective custody services, you know, or a counselor at the school, you know. But the minute, you know, they do something wrong, where were the parents? Where were the parents? That's confusion. And that's why this place is called Babylon. Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon, right? You know, and this is just the beginning, because in a minute Jake gonna be really turning up in these streets for real. You know, this the same way it was with the George Floyd. You know, people going to go protest, and then here guys, here's a here's a pallet full of bricks, you know, that's conveniently laid out, you know. So we're not ignorant of Esau's game, man. This guy Esau written all over it. And you heard the newscaster report a team takeover before it happened. Oh, it's supposed to be one, I can't remember exactly what she said, but it's supposed to be one such day at this time, you know. So for these teams in every major city to get organized to do this wild shit, it got deception written all over it, you know. And Esau is that serpent, man. He's that old serpent from the garden, you know. Like I said in Ezekiel the 28th chapter, you know. And also Genesis the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse. It said, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast. You know, well, Salaki, let me pull it up. Okay, it says Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua had made. You know, and that's the point. You know, he's subtle. He uses deception. You know, he's a sneaky devil. You know, he's like a fox. You know. And it's no coincidence the fox is 666, you know, but he's the damn devil, man. And you know, this is nothing but Esau's hidden hand, you know, because Janine Pearl just said if they catch the kids in DC, you know, doing the teen takeovers, the parents are gonna face six months in jail, you know, behind this. So there go your draconian laws, you know. So this is and then people are seriously getting hurt, you know. But let me get to Isaiah 19:17. Well, 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, which he shaketh over it. And this ain't talking about ancient Egypt. You know, this is Isaiah. Isaiah came along well after the exodus out of ancient Egypt. You know, this is speaking of modern day Egypt, which goes to the word Mizraim, which means bondage. You know, and the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that making mention thereof shall be afraid of himself. Yeah, because Jake gonna turn up, man, for real. And it ain't gonna be, you know, Esau setting it up through, you know, his counter agencies and whatnot, or, you know, whatever the case may be, right? But it's really gonna be the spirit of the Lord and Judah to turn up, as well as the other tribes, you know. So with that, I pray you were edified. Until next time, Shalom, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom to the elect.